All right.
Excuse me.
So the Robo Skelly family was forced to relocate to the Omega timeline where they would continue their family business as stage performers. At some point, Barry managed to figure out how to better hone his magic and ended up finding it that he had the ability to warp time and space to his will and could travel to almost any universe or timeline. This, of course, did have its drawbacks since he wasn't always successful with these attempts and would often get him and his family into bad situations. The biggest one being where he took them to a branch of Mergedale, which belongs to my best friend Jilly. And shoot. And that was currently
Hey,
running off the events of FNAF's security breach, and they managed to get mixed into the storyline by being mistaken as imported animatronics to either replace the daycare attendants or be used for spare parts. However, Jilly discovered that the Roboskelly family weren't animatronics and were in fact monsters in disguise like she was. Monsters in Mergedale weren't really welcomed by humans and had to conceal their identities. But once the events of Security Breach were falling into ruin part of the story, it takes an interesting turn. By this point, the Mega Pizzaplex had been burned down and all sorts of animatronics were being auctioned off to all buyers. Robo Skelly family was no exception, since they had upheld their secret identities as animatronics and were also put up for auctions. Jilly took her time and literal money to buy up each animatronic, including the family, and had placed them into storage facilities, which over time changed and linked into the crossroads of Mergedale. By this time, the closet that they had been put in had changed drastically, since they had been left in there for over 100 years or even longer. The room had now been connected to the core labs of Mergedale and were starting to deteriorate and crumble. This, of course, was extremely dangerous, and not everyone was cautious, as Cowett was struck by falling debris and had his skull bashed in. So, that is all that I have written for Fnaf:swap right now, but there will be more later.